Hey guys, welcome back to Tuesday. We are visiting the Scholarium and Infinite Archive vendors to see what new wares they have because they change every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. The Scholarium vendor, of course, has scripts. Today we have the Bound Affix script Brittle, which adds Brittle a debuff increasing critical damage taken. Affix script Heroism, which adds Heroism a buff increasing ultimate generation. We have our Focus script Knockback, which of course adds a knockback. And finally, our Bound signature script is Gladiator's Tenacity, which adds damage reduction. Let's head over to Infinite Archive and see what he has. Okay, we are now here with Filer Ool here in Infinite Archive. I did have a couple questions about this last week in the comments. We are in Infinite Archive. If you just go straight back from the entrance, you will find this vendor. There's another vendor off here to the left, but that vendor has the same offerings every week. Nothing rotates. This one in the back changes inventory every Tuesday at 10 a.m. An Infinite Archive is in Apocrypha, but you do not need the Necrom chapter in order to gain access. This is part of base game. So if you haven't tried it yet, please do. It is for 1 to 2 players. You get archival fortunes that you can then spend at the vendors.
I hope you don't have your mind.
All right, we're going to skip books for now. This week, we have Archival Essay Strass Mackay Treasure Map. I typically do not recommend that you get treasure maps, especially for a starter zone. This is really easy to farm. The maps are super cheap from guild traders. Skip this one. Archival Riddles. Consume 20 Archival Riddles to unlock the Archival Veteran Achievement and the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. The Veteran of the Infinite Body Art looks like this. Now, these particular collectible fragments are guaranteed to drop one at a time. After you get your mount, the other ones will rotate through. If you run these enough, just do your dailies, you will get them. 20 riddles at 7,000 archival fortunes apiece is super expensive. If you have enough archival fortunes to spend this, you've probably run it enough to gain access to the body art. All right, Big-Eared Ginger Kitten's collar. This is one of 7 pieces needed for the Big-Eared Ginger Kitten out of Carn Waste Public Dungeon in Somerset. These fragments have gotten easier to farm since Zoss has made it so that our first one drops pretty quickly every time we go into a public dungeon. However, since you do need 7 different ones to make the pet, if this is the only one you have missing, I don't think there's any harm in getting it for the 7,000 archival fortunes, but do at least farm some of the pieces first. All right, our scripts. Bound Affix script Protection. Adds protection, a buff reducing damage taken. Focus script Disease Damage. Adds disease damage, of course. Bound signature script Assassin's Misery. Adds improved use of status effects. Our style page this week is Grothar's Shoulder. Grothar comes out of Vaults of Madness. The shoulder, of course, is going to drop from the quest giver. Shoulders are pretty easy to get if you're willing to wait for the week or so that the mask style page drops. I don't think this is all that attractive. I don't think it's that difficult to get. Vaults of Madness is really easy to get on hard mode. Just grab a couple friends, no problem. I'm skipping this one. Companion equipment, medium armor. I never recommend getting armor, companion equipment. You're at the mercy of getting the right trait. It's bound, so you can't do anything with it if you get something that you're not interested in. I recommend skipping this. Geomancer's Ansei Deck Fragment. Found occasionally after sealing volcanic vents on High Isle and Aminos. I don't hate people getting deck fragments from Filer Ool. However, I don't know that this one's particularly difficult to get. If you're still missing it, go for it though. All right. Do not buy this lead. Blending Broomstick is part of the Druidic Provisioning Station, and the reason I tell you not to buy it is that it is a static lead. That means if you go to the location near Garrick's Rest, you're just going to find it laying on the ground, you pick it up, you have the lead. There is no RNG involved. There's no standing at a boss for 30 minutes hoping it will drop. You just run to the right spot and pick it up. So please skip this one this week. Our second lead this week is Huntland's Blessed Leather. This is part of the new Shadow Queen's Cowl from Westweald. Obviously, make sure you have the Westweald chapter before you buy this one. It comes from a World Boss in Westfield, Centurion's Rise. I don't know that this is particularly difficult to get, but it's fairly new, and if that's what you're missing, you have a chance to grab it today. All right, and this takes us to our 2 books. Our first book is A Brief History of House Telvanni. This is quite an attractive book. It's a really pretty color blue. This one drops in Infinite Archive, and the eidetic memory is in Tel Drelloth and Telvanni Peninsula. Our second book is The Remnant of Truth, also blue, a little bit more worn. This one also drops in Infinite Archive, but the eidetic memory comes out of Apogee of the Tormenting Eye Delve in Apocrypha. If you're not sure how these book furnishings work, I do have an article on my website. I'll link that below. Now, the other thing that changes every Tuesday morning is the gear that drops in Infinite Archive. So we're going to run an arc and see what's dropping this week. All right, we just ran an arc of Infinite Archive, and it looks like this week we have gear from the Rift, which includes Draugr's Heritage, Witchman Armor, and Ysgramor's Birthright. And from Apocrypha, that would include Adamant Lurker, Kimona Tong, and Vivek's Duality. Remember, this gear will be dropping for 1 week and will reset next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's it for this week. We'll see you next Tuesday.